Hello, in this example I'm going to show you how to do a paired t-test in StatCrunch, which is really just exactly the same as a one-sample t-test. And the data that we're going to use is available online at www.calvin.edu/tilde/sld33/data/islands with a capital I, aspirin with a capital A, .csv. This is a preview of the data. So if I read this into StatCrunch, I'm going to say, go to my StatCrunch, and I'm going to enter the address of a file to add in data. I'm going to type in that web address. It does have a header row, so I'll keep this first box ticked. The delimiter is comma. And then I just need to scroll down to the bottom and load the file. Here's the data set. What we've got is the blood pressure of some people from the islands tested before they took an aspirin, and then a while after they took an aspirin, and then the difference has already been computed for each individual person as well. So if I wanted to do a t-test or interval for this data, I would go to stat, t-stats, and I'm going to go to one sample, even though it's paired data, because I've already computed the differences. So I'll say with data, the data I want to use is the differences. And if I wanted to do a hypothesis test here, I would perform a hypothesis test and I would state what the null hypothesis value is and whether it's not equal to 0 for the alternate hypothesis. We could do that, but I haven't shown you a confidence interval yet, so let's do a confidence interval instead. We're going to leave this at 0.95 for 95% confidence. Compute, and our 95% confidence interval is that we're 95% confident that the difference in blood pressure before and after aspirin is between 6.2 and 8.3. If we wanted to do a test instead, we could go back and tick the box for a hypothesis test, and the null hypothesis that mu equals 0 would mean that the average difference was 0 and that the aspirin actually didn't affect the blood pressure number. So that makes sense as a null hypothesis, and we'll use the two-sided alternate that mean is not 0. And if we compute that, we should reject that null hypothesis. The reason I knew we should reject it is because we just did the confidence interval and the confidence interval didn't contain 0. And sure enough, we reject the null hypothesis with a very small p-value. So the data support the idea that aspirin lowers blood pressure in the islands.